Welcome to the Only Motors Archives, where we'll share with you our motoring experiences.
Let's see what lies in store.
Because we love cars.
This one, it kicks like a mule.
We're taking you to all the places a petrolhead loves with the help of our knowledgeable experts.
Only problem is, I've no idea what I'm supposed to be reviewing.
Whoa! What the hell's that? Meet the biggest enthusiasts in the industry.
You heard it here first. Chris Evans no longer has white Ferraris.
Don't have a single white Ferrari.
Motoring madness.
This is where all the magic happens.
So they're terrible at parking, so look for a car that's pretty outrageous that he's parked across 2 bays, like that.
Fun, speed, passion, all in one place. The Only Motors Archive. Hello and welcome to the Only Motors Archives. On today's show we have got the Maserati Quattroporte, a Ferrari F40, some Deloreans and the outtakes. But first up, it's time to review the all-new Toyota Yaris to see if Toyota's £70 million worth of investments have paid off in the car.
If there's one thing a Toyota is not, it's bad quality. Everything is engineered to be bulletproof and it's constructed by perfectionists. You see, Toyota Europe convinced Toyota HQ to splash out £70 million on this facelift, much more than a mid-update model should ever really require. So it's safe to say then that this car has got a lot more under its skin than just, say, a pair of new wing mirrors. But can this Toyota Yaris ever be called sexy? No is the short answer. That said, the driving level of this Yaris has been improved dramatically. The old model was a rather lumpy piece of tin, but this one's had a sprinkling of magic dust put all over its suspension, and that means that this is now a far more chilled out vehicle. The downside is there's noticeable body roll, but there's enough precision for you to go swiftly without needing to make the car lean. What it isn't though is enjoyable. It's not as fun to drive as, say, the VW Polo or the Ford Fiesta. There's little point talking about 0 to 62 mph sprints and top ends here. More relevant is that this car is cheap to run. Perhaps more interestingly though, the harsh ride in town is now lessened. It's also more hushed over bumps and relaxed at speed, both on straights and on country lanes. It feels more mature, like a more pricey motor. There's no denying that this new model Yaris is leagues apart from the old one. The big look at me front end helps, and the improved cabin plastics are a huge improvement. The old car, let's face it, was rough as pumice, where this one actually looks like a car you might be vaguely proud to have sitting on your driveway. Visibility is good, and you know what, space is surprisingly respectable, but the car still doesn't make you dribble with excitement, so it's very far from being a class-leading vehicle. But don't get me wrong, it's still a very decent little car. The Polo has that extra coat of quality, and the Fiesta is in a league of its own. What the Toyota Yaris does instead is battle very competently with super minis such as the Vauxhall Corsa, Peugeot 208 and Renault Clio. Overall then, this is a talented, well screwed together small car that's been transformed almost from an ugly duckling into a beautiful swan.
So the Toyota Yaris has definitely improved as a car and battles a lot better and harder in the super mini class than the last generation did. So now if you want a luxury saloon with supercar performance, you may think Mercedes-AMG or BMW M5. But Maserati have now got something that should certainly be in that same conversation.
This, the 6th generation Maserati Quattroporte, not only sets a high technology tone, it also remains faithful to the long history of the Italian car maker's dedication to producing luxury sports saloons. The powerful V8 twin-turbo engine under the hood of this Quattroporte makes it the most powerful four-door car Maserati has ever built. And unbelievably, at around 14 to the gallon, or so we've been getting on our test, it's the most fuel-efficient engine too. With an 8-speed automatic transmission and available in either rear-wheel or all-wheel drive configurations, it's the safest, most secure all-weather car ever made by Maserati. Look at this, the detail of this, the silver vents along here, those huge 20-inch alloy wheels, they fill the arches so satisfyingly. It's huge, isn't it? You imagine trying to parallel park this in the city. Massive. Check out those huge red brake calipers. But the best bit about this car has to be, you imagine seeing the aggressive front nose of that car behind you in your rearview mirror. That's one aggressive looking car. Let me tell you more about these 4 tailpipes. In normal mode, the car creamily grunts along. As soon as you press that sport mode, my goodness, does it change. Listen to the change in engine note. This is normal, that's normal, right? Listen to this. Sport mode now. It does affect fuel consumption, but so what? You don't buy a car like this for its MPG. We're inside the Quattroporte. Look how spacious it is. It offers both 4 and 5-seat configurations, and it has technological luxuries like this. The Maserati touch control screen, which incorporates a reversing camera, and the optional 15-speaker Bowers & Wilkins audio system, as well as Wi-Fi and compatibility with most modern mobile phone systems. The Quattroporte is a sexy car, let's face it. It's a feast for the senses, from this cowhide through to this carbon fibre look. What a beautiful car just to sit and touch everything in it. It sounds a bit weird to say that, but honestly, try it. It's really worth getting inside this car. Even if you can't drive it, just go along to a Maserati dealership and ask to sit inside. It really is beautiful. And the smell, if only you could smell the leather. Oh, beautiful. You know what? Enough talking about this car. Let's just get in and drive it. Come on. The amount of torque this car has, and when I'm talking about torque, I'm talking about pulling power. You know that feeling you have when your eyeballs get sucked back into your head? That's what torque is. This car has got a lot of it. And that's a good thing in my book. So this is really a supercar, but one that you can use with your family aboard too. It's a car that probably has enough legroom to warrant at least 2 adults in the back. And it's the sort of car that, I know this sounds boring, it has a boot that's really big, you can stick everything in it. So if you have the money and you want a car with acceleration, you know, 0 to 62 miles per hour in 4.7 seconds, top speed of 191 miles per hour, if you want all that and you want a bit of Italian heritage, then why not go for this? It's a bit different, isn't it? Come on, this has got a lot more character than the average German exec express. Need I say more? What's lovely about this car, I'm on this really pothole-ridden car park at the moment. You can probably tell because the camera's kind of wobbling all over the place, but the car's not. It feels really, really comfy. Flick of the switch, the gearbox goes into park, electric handbrake on, starter button's over here. You just have to press it again to stop the car. Steering wheel lifts up, seat goes back, allowing you to exit the car. It really is the last word in luxury, this car. Okay, so if you're rich enough to afford, let alone run one of these Quattroportes, then you might be slightly concerned possibly about someone nicking your car or even holding you to ransom. If that's the case and you find yourself stuffed into the boot of this car, fear not. There's a glowing fluorescent green help get me out of here boot release catch. Maserati are fighting crime. They've thought about everything. Well, I hope I've given you an overview of the Maserati Quattroporte. It's important to note though, you'll never be able to enjoy getting behind the wheel of this car unless you have over £108,000, and that's without the factory fitted extras. This is Tim Barnes-Clay for Only Motors in sunny Reading.
So there you go. If you need two cars between £18,000 and £108,000, the Yaris and the Quattroporte are our best suggestions for you. It's now time for a break, but do come back afterwards as we have plenty of iconic cars and the outtakes. Welcome back to the Archive Show. Now our next feature is probably one of the most popular hatchbacks currently on the market. The Citroën DS3 is one of many in a competitive hatchback class. And to stay in that class, you've got to be ahead of the game. You've got to keep your car up to date. So Citroën have given the DS3 a midlife facelift and we reviewed it.
Remember the Citroën Diane? If you can't, I wouldn't blame you. It was basically a poshed up 2CV with a fractionally nicer interior. And mercifully, it died off in 1983. 27 years later, Citroën still needed something slightly funky, something different. And guess what? They came up with this, the DS3. Basically, the French company swiped the chassis from the C3, fitted a sporty shark-finned exterior, fitted a very nice, slightly colourful interior, and voila, the DS3 was born. The DS3 has been on the UK market for 4 years now, so Citroën's thought, right, we need to change the look of it slightly, and I do mean slightly. All it's done is given it a new LED light signature. The indicators now do a nice sweeping action, and the interior is even more funky. It's got a nice moon dust coloured dashboard, it's got little chrome bits on the leather steering wheel, and the seats are even funkier than they used to be. Much has changed with the DS3, the exterior still looks funky, and the interior definitely feels a cut above the rest. Do you know the best thing about the DS3? It reminds you of what it's like to be 17 again. And if you don't believe me, try one. Take one for a test drive. Get behind the wheel. This thing just makes you feel free. It's funky. It's fantastic. Do it. It's one of these cars that you just get in. It changes that dull commute into a slightly more colourful one. At the end of the day, for 17 grand, might sound a lot of money, but believe me, it'll be worth it. Drive it and see. So we're driving the 1.6 turbocharged petrol engine here. 0 to 62 miles per hour comes in just 7.3 seconds, and top speed is a very respectable 130 miles per hour. The steering isn't the sharpest, but mercifully, the car goes where you point it. The suspension can be a little soft and body roll isn't too bad, but you know what? Having slightly soft suspension on our pothole-ridden UK roads isn't such a bad thing. Been a success for Citroën, the DS3, since it went on sale 4 years ago, and over 250,000 of them have found homes. And it's not hard to see why. It's cute, it's good value, and our mid-spec car here costs £17,000. And you can make it your own with that options list. But most of all, it's fun. It's fun to look at, fun to be in, and fun to drive. It's that very rare thing in a car. It's a car with a sense of humour. And we like that.
That was the Citroën DS3, a car with an incredible history in the DS brand. Our next feature also has an incredible history. It is in fact a motoring icon. Here we have not one, but 3 DeLoreans from the Wings and Wheels event.
We're treated on Only Motors because there are not 1 but 3 DeLoreans here at Dunsfold. Guys, my first question, did you hit 88 miles per hour out there?
I think we pushed through it actually.
Yeah, slightly above.
You pushed through it?
Yeah.
And you were still here in 2014?
Unfortunately, yes.
What made you get a DeLorean?
Well, Back to the Future.
Good answer. How about not Ashes to Ashes? Keeley Hawes?
No. No, we wanted to get a car that was a bit different and, you know, classic car, but then fan of the film. Kind of seen the obvious choice.
Yeah, definitely. So what is it about the car itself? You know, we've all seen the film, but driving these cars, owning these cars, tell us about some of the quirks.
Well, I've had a few more quirks than you. Well, to start with, I suppose they're pretty big and wide and feel a bit like a tank, but you get used to it very quickly. They're kind of a bit of a bad rep sometimes, but actually they're no way as bad as people make out.
They look like a sports car, but they actually weren't much of a sports car, were they?
No, they were a bit underpowered when they came out, but good enough for us, I think.
And I guess it's like driving around in a big cutlery set, isn't it?
I guess so, yeah. I think it's stainless steel polish.
Yeah, I was going to say, how do you look after them, keep them looking nice? Because it is a very nice uniform finish. My forks don't look this good.
Surprisingly enough, it's just ordinary car shampoo.
Right.
Just wash and dry as you would a normal car. Nothing fancy to it at all.
You don't use Brasso?
No, we do use those little kitchen abrasion pads. They're very good. Yeah.
So I bet the neighbours that don't understand the car think, oh no, he's washing his car with a Brillo pad again.
Yeah.
So you went out there, you had a lot of fun. I saw you out there with a Ferrari F40. Have a bit of a go with him?
Yeah, I think we're trying to go with each other more like actually. Trying to see.
You're obviously fans of iconic cars. You've owned a DeLorean, one of the most iconic cars, of course. Back to the Future made it so famous. Where do you go from here? You have to keep it forever now. You can't go more iconic than that, can you?
I think so. I mean, I did look at Chevy Impala once, which I quite like a lot. Maybe a Mustang or something, but I reckon this does me for now.
And you haven't been tempted to get the old Blue Peter cut and sticking box out and start sticking boxes and bits of vacuum pipe on the roof and things?
No, not at all. not for my car, no. It's too nice to start doing something like that to you.
Yeah.
This is the OEM master, so everything has to be perfect and original, so you wouldn't do that.
Even his polo shirt, which is, if you can see this, it's a Universal Studios polo shirt. That's not an ex-Marty McFly polo shirt, is it?
Unfortunately not, no. If it was, I might have it up on eBay.
Well, don't put the car on eBay because it's absolutely fantastic. Is that a flux capacitor on the dashboard?
It's not, it's a digital speedometer.
How very boring. But 3 DeLoreans. Oh, it's actually from the film. That's not so boring then. What? So that's actually the one that we saw on the screen?
Yeah, it's very similar. It works off of GPS, so
And it actually does work?
It's handy because the speedos on these cars are known for being temperamental, so you know it's helpful to know how fast you're going.
Well, you need to know which year you're going to end up in, don't you? Thanks for talking to us, guys.
So there you go. Not often do you see one DeLorean, let alone 3 in the same place. It's now time for a break, but do come back afterwards as we have the Ferrari F40, the Only Motors presenter initiation, and the outtakes. Welcome back to the Archive Show. Still to come, we have the iconic Ferrari F40 and the hilarious outtakes. But right now, it's time for the Only Motors presenter initiation, where new presenters are given a number of challenges that will test their ability, not just behind the wheel, but also in front of the camera.
Hello Only Motors freaks. Yes, it's exciting news time for you, if you're one of those people who gets excited, but I'm not just stood here with a slightly less attractive smaller brother, but this is actually a brand new Only Motors presenter. So hello brand new Only Motors presenter.
How you doing, Tim?
I'm alright, Tim. Your name's actually Tim, isn't it?
It is, that's
so
right.
My name's Tim, so that's not going to get confusing at all, is it? So anyway, welcome to the family.
Thank you.
I'm sorry the other presenters couldn't be here, but they couldn't be asked. So it's my duty to welcome you to the Only Motors fold, should we call it.
Very kind of you.
Now, the boss couldn't be here because literally he's never here, but he did sort of suggest to me that we need to make sure you're the one. Right. You know, like Neo in the Matrix, yeah?
Yeah.
It's no, you know, it's no use finding out you're not Neo. If you're the one, then you're definitely the one. If you're not the one, you got to go. All right. So what I'm saying is, we need to kind of give you a little bit of an initiation ceremony. I've been through it. I come out with flying colours, obviously. But you up for this, yeah?
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So first up, we've got several challenges. First up, it's interrogation time.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back.
Right then, man with outstanding name. Let's see if you've got outstanding game. Interrogation time. Name.
Tim.
Where do you come from?
Kettering.
Favourite car ever?
Lamborghini Gallardo.
Worst car ever?
Skoda Octavia.
Best driving song?
Stone Roses Fool's Gold.
Most used phrase during your own personal road rage? Thoughts on women drivers?
Not brilliant, but okay.
What's in your glove box?
Well, not gloves, but a water bottle.
Do you suck or chew fruit pastels?
Chew.
Thoughts on hair transplants?
Too late for me now, but might have gone for it once.
What is your favourite motorway?
M1.
Best bridge you've ever driven over?
Let's have a think. River 7.
What's in your boot?
A buggy.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Quite a lot.
The interrogation is over.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we've put him in the car, a nice new Jaguar, but now we have to see how he deals with the job with distractions. Check this out.
I am a distraction. You must not be distracted by me. When the going gets tough, the tough get good. When the going gets rough, the tough get rough. That is the Billy Idol version, the original, and not the crappy Westlife one they did. Do not be distracted, and if you are distracted, do not crash the car, because I do not wish to die. And the headline be, 2 bald blokes dead in a car.
Only Motors has found itself in Berkshire this afternoon. We're here to talk about the new Jaguar XF. This is the fantastic 275 brake horsepower version. It's the S portfolio, it's a complete beast. Even though it's an estate car, you might think boring family vehicle, but it's far from it. And let's face it, Jaguar's heritage is all about striking remarkable sports cars. People like this guy behind me here could even be seen in one. Well, actually, what do you think of this car? Do you like it?
Yeah, you see, being distracted, you lose a point.
So Tim, you may wonder why we're stood in the middle of a road.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that. This is all about your durability and see how brave you are. So all you need to know is stay here, don't move, okay?
You sure?
Don't move, don't move.
Okay.
As if we killed him. We've got to finish the rest of the show. Okay, we've done the interrogation. He was okay at that. We've also distracted him with all sorts of various things. He was all right at that. But, you know, one, he's rocking a bald head, which concerns me slightly because I should be the only bald-headed person on this show. And also, two, guess what? His name's Tim. You should never trust anyone called Tim. Apart from me, obviously, I'm very trustworthy. So now we move on in stage 3, which is, of course, car knowledge. How much does he know about motoring? Because if he doesn't, who would hire a person who knows nothing about cars? Apart from me, obviously. So let's see, what is his motoring knowledge like? So let's find out how much you actually know about cars then. My first question, what colour is my sister's Vauxhall?
Purple.
No, it's green. How many wheels did the Only Fools and Horses car have?
3.
No, because it had one in the back. How many gears am I thinking of? 4. Oh, yeah, you're right on that one. What car is this?
Vauxhall Viva.
No, it's actually it's one of the blue ones. I think it's a Ford Cortina. Yeah, you're close though. How many helmets does Lewis Hamilton own?
2.
Doesn't own any. He gets given them for free. What type of windscreen wipers are these?
Bosch.
No, I believe they're another pair. How do you get to Wales in a car?
Down the M4?
No, it's 1 in the back, 2 in the front, or something like that. But that makes no sense because obviously Wales are massive and they shouldn't go in cars. Can you do an impression of a Formula 1 car going at 187 miles an hour? That's 140. Should have gone a bit faster. And if you're driving at 80 miles an hour and you see a cow in front of you, what is your braking distance?
60 feet.
I don't know. I've never really seen a car, but you seem to know a bit about cars. Well done.
Thank you.
No problem, Tim. Okay, Tim, so your car knowledge was all right. Maybe I could have thrown a few extra special questions in there, but not too bad. Are you prepared to continue on the initiation?
Yes, Tim, I am.
Good man, then. Well, now it's all about driving ability, because obviously you're going to be driving many different vehicles. So how are you at kind of special driving?
What, like doing donuts?
Yeah, donuts. Donuts is a good idea. So you up for doing donuts?
Yeah, in a decent car.
Can you do a good donut?
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you, you're going to have an experience in that, baby.
What, in the Porsche?
No, the Polo.
What, that thing?
Polo.
There.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Show us what you got, big boy.
I'll try, Tim. Thanks for that. Yeah.
Okay, Tim, you're doing all right with your initiation, but it's time to step it up a gear, okay? So next up in your initiation is interview technique. Obviously, on Only Motors, as you know, you have to interview a lot of different people, yeah? You can speak at any time, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I was just listening.
Well, I was going to say, you're interviewing, you can't just nod your head, but I've learned a lot. You could learn a lot from me, apart from driving and knowing about cars, but you know all that. So it's interview technique. Now, I don't know whether you're aware, but I was a trained actor once.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So rather than get someone in, I'm going to pretend to be a motoring person and you interview me in the motoring people style, okay?
Sounds good.
You might not recognise me because I'm the king of disguise and voices, but we want to make it as real as possible. So you're going to be interviewing somebody, but it will be me, okay?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Well, Only Motors is here in Dudley. It's quite rare actually to find a cornfield in Dudley, but you know, motoring people thought we'd come along and speak to a guy called Gavin. Now, Gavin, you're a great guy because you've invited us along to look at your car, haven't you?
Well, yes, name's Gavin Knutsford. Hello out there in motoring world. Yes, it's not so much a car, it's more of a van, because I have retrofitted a white van that we used to have, and we've turned it into the Scooby-Doo ghost machine.
That's fantastic. That's white though, but isn't it? It's green, isn't it? Normally,
You know, obviously, me and my mate Fat Dave, who like dresses up as Shaggy, I'll dress up as Fred because I've got that kind of debonair, suave look.
Yeah.
And I've got a little Shih Tzu as well who we use as Scooby. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't look like it, but we've got a dog. And then we kind of just drive around in the Scooby van, sort of to try and meet ladies to see if any of them want to be Daphne or Thelma. But some of them like us, but that's usually when they're drunk. But most of them think we're weird.
That's sort of quite an interesting hobby. But I mean, going back to the actual, the vehicle in question.
It's all about motoring.
It's all about motors, and obviously it's lovely to meet you. And well, it's motoring people, so you know we're interested in you as well, Gavin.
I've got the van. And me and my mate Fat Dave just painted it and did some stuff to make it look like the Scooby van because we are now part of the Scooby Massive.
Yeah. Okay, well that's interesting. I mean, obviously because we're television, we'd love to see this vehicle. Where is it?
Well, Fat Dave was supposed to bring it here because I thought he was nice and picturesque, but hopefully it hasn't been nicked because that would be a real bummer. But I think he might have gone to the shop in it because he's got a bit of a dicky stomach at the moment. So
it's a little bit.
Got the squits.
Well, what's that? We'll have to cut there for that bit, but that's all right. Though. Just keep rolling. It's all right. Don't worry. So slightly disappointed we can't see it. Can we see it later? Do you think?
Well, hopefully Fat Dave will turn up, but you know, as I say, with his dicky stomach at the moment, he's probably stuck on the M6 somewhere, you know, in one of the motorway service stations, having a rumble in the jungle, as they say.
Well, I mean, obviously we've come all the way up from our film studios to Dudley, and you know, it's a pleasure to be in a cornfield. I didn't know, you know, Dudley had this kind of scenery.
I know, it's amazing.
It is. Now, the vehicle in question, obviously we can't see it yet.
The Scooby Ghost machine.
Yeah, well, you've described it really quite eloquently, but
the van.
Yeah, but a van with a difference. And
because it's the Scooby mobile.
Do you think that in the meantime, is there any chance we can go back maybe and check out some photos at your place of the van?
What?
You know, well, yeah, just check out.
You want to check out photos of mine? What kind of program is this? I mean,
it's a simple question.
Call me back tomorrow and look at the photos.
Well, I think he's lost it, guys. I think we'll cut this, move on to the next shoot, really. Come on, let's go.
Holy
Well then, Tim, first of all, let me congratulate you on finishing the initiation. Seriously, we've had some people die. Anyway, first off, outstanding name, outstanding haircut, that's two things. But as far as your initiation went, well, I've got to check the scores on the doors with some important people. So we'll be in touch, but hopefully you're the one.
Tim, thanks very much indeed.
Well,
cheers.
See you soon, mate. Excellent. You can go now. Off you go.
See you later then. Bye.
Nice to see you.
And you.
Wait for him to go. Seriously, they want to hire him. Yeah, he knows about cars. He seems to be able to present all right. But his name's Tim, and he's got a bald head. I mean, how confusing is that going to be for the morons that watch this stuff? Seriously.
So there we go, a successful Only Motors initiation that didn't involve onions, running around a football field, and drinking milk, like my university ones did. Now it's time for a break, but do come back afterwards as we have the F40 and the outtakes. Welcome back to the archives. Still to come, we have the outtakes, but first we have to meet another motoring icon. The Ferrari F40 is considered one of the all-time greatest Ferraris and was in fact the last ever car to be approved by the founder himself. We met with a lucky owner to talk about his Ferrari F40.
Now it's a very exciting, slightly emotional moment for me on Only Motors because I'm joined by Bob, but that's not why it's emotional, no offence Bob, but this car here, this Ferrari F40 is my pin-up car. Any car in the world I could choose, I would choose one of these. Bob, do you wake up in the morning and remind yourself that you own an F40?
No.
No?
No.
I would.
I did for the first few years, but I've had it 17 years and it's kind of wearing off a little bit.
I'm going to beg you for a sit-in in a minute, and I'm going to wake up tomorrow morning and remind myself I sat in an F40.
You're welcome, yeah.
So talk to me about the car. Why an F40?
It was the first car that put a smile on my face after having an E-Type racer for many years. It was a car I was told I wasn't to have, and it was the only car I wanted. And although it's tried to kill me 2 times now, it's still a fantastic car.
Do you know much about the development and the story behind the car?
Not really, no.
It came from the 288 GTO, didn't it? And they decided they needed something bigger and more GT-like. Is it something like that?
I was told that they were going to make it into a Le Mans series car, and then the rules changed and it no longer was a viable Le Mans car, so they thought they'd make a limited run of them and sell them to the public.
Everyone my age has had a Borrego 1/18th scale model of this car, even with the little flaps that open when the locks at the back that open the engine compartment. Did you have one of those?
Yeah, I've still got one.
Yeah, I've still got one in my garage as well, but unfortunately for me, you're the man with a real one. How long have you had the car?
17 years come October.
Fantastic, and it just doesn't age, does it?
No.
It just
no, I
looks
do,
incredible.
but the car doesn't.
How much fun was it out there at Dunsfold?
It was really good, really good.
I saw you go out there with some Deloreans just ahead. An iconic lineup, Deloreans, Ferrari F40.
Yeah, unfortunately, for whatever reason, it's playing up today. It's being temperamental. It's like an Italian mistress.
Do you know what? People say this, don't they, about especially the older Ferraris, but when a car looks that good, and it has an engine that looks like that, and you know what business it can do without even starting it up, you can forgive it anything, right?
Yeah, you can. But I don't want to walk home.
So do you drive this on the road much?
I do about 1,000 miles a year in it.
What do you do for a living?
I sell car spares.
Right, okay. For F40s?
No, not for F40s.
Well, car spares must be good business. All I'm saying is this is the most amazing car I've ever stood this close to. Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome. Do you like to sit in it?
I would definitely like to sit in it. Can I sit in it, please? Shall we keep the camera rolling? Just to capture the raw emotion on onlymotors, because it is a special moment for me. Just as I imagined, kind of just raw. They say that about the F40, it's the most raw supercar because it is just all power, and they didn't put anything in here that you didn't need. They probably missed a few things out that you do need, such as a sick bag for your passenger and a potty for those moments that Bob was telling us about. But either way, it's a very special moment. Can I just put it in gear?
Yeah.
Is that okay? This is amazing.
Probably won't go in with this.
I put it in second, that's fine.
So that was Bob, one of the luckiest car owners out there, having owned an E-Type Jag and a Ferrari F40. It's now time to call it a day on this episode, but we're going out on a high and finishing with the outtakes.
Green light, action.
Yeah, we know, but I'm trying to talk to the camera as well, you
Sorry, I forgot. Go on.
All good in the hood?
How's your first few goes been, James?
Yeah.
Excited?
I'm a jelly juggler! Twisted jelly juggler! I can't hear you, you gotta talk louder.
It's like Godzilla farting. Does he know that? Why, someone sat in the boot trying to film us or something?
What is the weirdest thing that's kind of happened to you?
The weirdest? Your boot's open?
God. Or funniest, if you could think of something that is...
And the End Award goes to...
I'm trying to think of some weird things.
How many pieces of jewellery do you have that is actually on your person at the moment?
It's probably about 11.
11?
Do you want to play a game?
If there isn't anything, don't worry about it. Nah.
We have got a very tight plan, which I'm not fully aware about. There's a big plan in place, but I
I told you about the plan yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah?
And you were like, oh, you so good.
Let's explain who he's Alex's uncle.
Alex's what? Ankle?
Uncle.
Oh, right, yeah. I'm Alex's uncle. Well, you might... Well, Alex's ankle is connected to his foot. I've got to be cool now. I've got a wasp around me. I can't do that girly thing.
Are you a professional camera person?
So I can get out? Because I'm f***ing stuck.
Oh, but install it!
It wants to be the reproduction. Rookie mistake. That's a rookie mistake.
Don't get down the... Oh, there isn't. I seriously panicked then. I was like, there's a ditch!
And then we went to the... Hang on, that's my agent. We'll have to cut there because they don't like me talking about pasties unless Greg's are involved.
If I need the toilet and I don't suppose there is one round here. We're in the woods. Do I look like a bear?
Looks like he's wearing my jeans.
To show my shorts, right? Hang on, pass that. Yeah, right, look at those shorts, look at those bruised legs, eh?
Just so you know, Emily holding the camera when she talks to Tim, she has to hold it up like that so she gets level with his face.
Brilliant.
We'll cut that bit out.
I could see him. I only saw him once he was out. Sorry, I sneezed now and again. I'm just allergic to camera people. He doesn't seem to have much confidence in me anymore. He had it while I was in the car. That was just a stroking my head, yeah.
Not you've been doing 20 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's all I need.
In the wet.
That's all I need to do. People in the edit, speed it, speed it. Look at him go at 90 miles an hour.
So, see what the worst job's got to be? Being one of the cone people. They just have to pick up the cones that he hits.
What the f***? This tall bald bloke knows nothing.
Brilliant, we've got an expert on the walkie-talkie.
How's the continuity going with my beard going now? Don't worry, we'll get another one in a minute.
So where's next for you, Jack?
McDonald's. Oh, what, in terms of filming?
Yeah.
Oh. And cut!
Only just reinforces mine.
That's why I don't drive.